I'm here with Greg Stirling at the Apartment Internet Marketing Conference. Greg, I believe you spoke earlier.
Yes.
And maybe you want to tell the people that are in my audience and community a little bit what you talked about today.
I talked about mobile, local, and real-time search with an emphasis on mobile and kind of the opportunity, I think, for multifamily marketers, multifamily real estate marketers. Also, a lot about the consumer behavior and why folks need to be taking mobile seriously right now, because it's obviously an area of enormous growth, and there's some things you can do with it that you can't do with online entirely. Although it is a complicated and somewhat fragmented area, still emerging, and the behaviors are not well established, but it's ramping very, very quickly.
What do you see the adoption rate for the real estate industry for some of these technologies?
Well, my understanding from the conference organizers is that a lot of the companies here are a little bit behind the curve, and so I think that that presents opportunities and disadvantages. If you don't have a culture that's inclined to adopt new technologies, then you might resist. But at the same time, you get the advantages of kind of leaping forward to the state of the art. You skip the interim steps that may represent kind of legacy systems that you then would have to overcome. So I think it's a mindset and a culture thing that people have to recognize that their customers are moving and they're all over the place, and they have to follow them.
Interesting. And what place do you see social media taking as far as marketing and acquisitions and analyzing property?
Well, obviously social media is a huge phenomenon, and Facebook has moved very aggressively to insert itself across the internet, and Twitter and other social layers, reviews, ratings, etc., are pervasive. So you have to address social media both from the standpoint of consumer information that's going to be out there, reputation management. Then you also can use it as a viral marketing thing. I mean, Facebook fan pages can be hugely successful. Some of the Twitter can be used very effectively as a kind of CRM tool, or to promote, to do promotions, and also now as an SEO tool, because it's being integrated into search on Bing and Yahoo and Google.
So if you're not on Google, are you invisible if you're a company?
The short answer is yes. If you're not optimizing your site and trying to gain exposure on that first page and in the local results in the case of real estate marketing companies, you're going to be really screwed ultimately, because this is where a lot of people are going. It's not the only place they're going, and not the only place to find information, but it's one of the chief places that people go to look for things, housing, etc.
And if a company is not blogging, keeping a company blog, what would you tell them at this point here in 2010?
Well, I think it's interesting, because Twitter and Facebook to some degree have made it so that you don't absolutely have to do a blog. And in fact, if you're not committed to a blog, if you're not going to put out good information and it's not going to come out fairly regularly, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I think you can do stuff that's sort of easier to manage and maintain on Twitter or Facebook with less. It's less labor intensive. Blogs can be very labor intensive. For some people, they'll just be terrific and great promotional tools, but for others, the fit might not be there.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people know who you are, and for those that may not be so familiar, tell them how they can read about you and learn more about what you're up to.
Sure. I'm an analyst, and I cover local and mobile in the search space. I blog in several places. The kind of easiest way to get the information that I put out is by following me on Twitter, twitter.com/gstirling, GSTERLING. My personal blog is called Screenwork with an E, WERK.com, and you can find all the information associated with me there.
Well, listen, I want to thank you very much, Greg, for taking the time, and I follow you, I watch it and read. You turn up in the Wall Street Journal and all sorts of places.
Well,
am I right?
Yeah, from time to time, yes.
Yes, so we're very glad to have you, and hope you rest of the conference.
Yes, thank you. You too.